So being in Omonyoro is part of the looking for friends?
Yes, exactly. And you know, Honorable Matiang'i...
I had one final.
Sorry, just a moment.
So, sorry.
What I'm saying, you know, Honorable Matiang'i is optimistic. He's adventurous and open. And you know, Matiang'i has this glittering resume, and he has an impeccable political goodwill across the country. But this can only be translated to votes and being elected as president by him creating friendships beyond the borders of our community. And even Raila Odinga once said, for Matiang'i to become president, he has to reach out to other communities. And that is why he's making friendships.
How do you say that he has political goodwill across the country?
It is across the country. That is
when
he said, I've been receiving your messages. You remember during the Gen Z demonstrations, that is when his name came out very strongly. Yeah. And even since then, Kenyans want a fixer. Kenyans want a performer. Kenyans want someone who will actually transform words into action. Because lately, we only have lip service from the regime that we have in power. And we know what Matiang'i did when he was in the Ministry of Information, when he was in the Ministry of Education. You know how he transformed that ministry, and when he was in the Ministry of Interior, and it got to a point where he became a prime minister, but not with that title, because he was coordinating national government operations across the board. And we know what he managed to do as the prime minister we had in between 2018 and 2022.
And part of that is the record that Fred was talking about here.
And you know, what I want, sometimes I wonder what this, particularly the people who lean towards government, and some of them who are extreme sycophants of government, like my brother Koech here, they don't seem to even look at themselves. They forget too fast. When he tells us that those people have 100 years plus, does he want us to tell him about the people in Migori?
So, sorry,
including Oburu Odinga?
You're running away from my question, you know? But
so,
fine.
Once people who are opposing each other come together, Mr. Speaker, in the executive, because parliament, Mr. Speaker, colleagues, we found ourselves where the best is taking tech. Honorable Mother Karuma, Honorable Gatarana, Honorable Topi Manyani, myself, we took upon ourselves and created an opposition. Something must be done. This is arrogance. Did you hear yesterday my brother from the minister saying, whereas in the last budget, the Jaramogi Hospital only accessed 300 million. Now that he is Minister for Finance, in this budget, the hospital will give 3 billion shillings. Is that what we must say no, so that we protect smaller communities and lucky communities that do not have a minister. The minister
that they hold. But let me say this, a comprehensive statement will come later in the day. But when you look at Oburu Odinga, for example, who is the senator of Bondo, he is a senator elected by the people of Bondo, not nominated by Raila Odinga. So that needs to go on record. Whether he was elected on the premise of being a brother to Honorable Raila Odinga, that we cannot tell. Okay. But the people came out and voted. On Ruth Odinga, the sister to Raila Odinga, who is not even representing Siaya, she's actually the woman representative for Kisumu. I remember before we went into election and we were carrying out nominations for our political party, the ODM party carried out a survey across the country. And those who had, upper polls like myself, were never subjected to nominations. So we were given direct tickets. Ruth Odinga actually went through a nomination process in Kisumu and won, and proceeded to also win the general election. So these are two people who have been elected by the people, not just of Bondo, but the entire Siaya, not just of Siaya, but of Kisumu. When you talk about somebody like Jaoko, or let me come back to Buru Odinga again. You know, it was being alleged that he's also, courtesy of Raila Odinga, the chairperson of the Energy Committee of the Senate. Now, everybody knows that in committees where we belong to, and I'm glad I belong to the same committee with my brother, Honorable Robert Mbui here, election of chairs and vice chairs are done by the members. So members of Energy Committee sat and elected Dr. Buru Odinga as their chairperson. So I do not know how the Odinga family, gets into that.
Yeah,
but again,
fundamentally, let me just come in. It isn't an ODM affair. My question was the plethora of advisors, and Jaoko is just but one of the advisors. And let me take you back to what the president said on the 5th of July 2024, a month after the June 25th Gen Z demonstrations. The number of advisors, he said, in government shall be reduced by 50% within the public service with immediate effect. I mean, what value are they adding for the taxpayer to advise the president?
Well, firstly, I wanted you to know where we are coming from.
Yeah.
That is why I was juxtaposing the yesterday's and today's newspaper and the intent of the Standard Media Group to besmirch everybody's character who is associated with President William Ruto. Now, when the president said he was going to do so, he actually did. Because you remember there was a communique from State House that advisors who were plugged on to cabinet secretaries were to be reduced from 2 to 1. And that was actually implemented. So we've got 22 cabinet secretaries, each with 1. Initially they were 2, so 44, down to 22 now. So actually he walked the talk on that pretext.
He did not. He added 2 more advisors to his category.
No, I'm not.
And Edward Kisiangani.
No, I'm saying
the point is
the cabinet secretary.
Yes.
Every cabinet secretary is entitled to an advisor, and previously they had 2 advisors each to a cabinet secretary. 2. Now each and everybody has 1. So he actually met that. But what is the work of an advisor, for instance, for a president? You know, the president has, the entire face of the country, a symbol of unity, and is the spokesperson, actually, of the country. And that is why the Constitution has made it clear that every year the president must set aside a day to come into Parliament to brief the country on what has been achieved so far, particularly on matters related to Article 10, on values and principles of the country. Okay. So, unlike a cabinet secretary, the president being the face of the nation, I think, to be fair, would be entitled to advisors in various fields.
How many in your view? How many advisors?
It then depends.